Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Harika. So we are actually looking at the series on the Gmail automation using Robocorp. So the main agenda for starting up this series has come up. It is this particular scenario wherein we have to send email attachment of that particular sheet pointing to that particular person in that particular email. Okay, so that's the main scenario. Okay, let me just take you through the scenario more clearly and make you understand it. So let's say this is my Excel workbook, and inside this Excel I have Harika, Monica, and Chandler. These three are the different sheets. So the thing is, this particular worksheet, okay, so Harika is the worksheet. Okay, this particular sheet has to be sent to Harika only. Okay, and this sheet has to be sent to Monica, and this one has to be sent to Chandler. So that's the agenda. So now how we can actually get this done is the point. Okay, so in the previous videos we have seen how we can send the attachments, how we can send the images and everything, right? So now we are going to see how we can send a specific sheet to through an attachment to that particular person. Okay, so that's the main agenda. So the overall template remains the same as I mentioned you earlier, but based on our requirement we can do some customization. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is firstly I have to send that particular sheet, right? So I have to declare the sheet names, and also that particular sheet has to be sent to that person's mail ID. So I will create a dictionary variable here. So how can I create a dictionary? Let me just show you. So I'm gonna create a dictionary. What is the dictionary name? Dictionary sheets. Okay, that is the dictionary name that I'm creating. So for that dictionary I should give the key and value pairs. So dictionary is equals to, so as I'm creating this here, let's do one thing. Let's just take this thing inside our task. Okay, so I'm creating dictionary. Just say create dictionary. Okay, so we can see here we have three different types, right? So I'm taking built-in create dictionary. So what does a dictionary contains? So just hover on it. You can see it contains the key and value pairs. Okay, so for that what I'm doing, firstly let's give the first key, which is Harika. That's the sheet name. Okay, and that sheet name must be equal to the mail ID. Okay, so this is the value for this person, it has to be sent. Okay, so that is done. And what is the next one? Let's say Monica. Okay, and as I can't have the Monica's mail ID, so what can I do is I will give some random one. Okay, Monica dot 0 or Monica Geller at 03@gmail.com. So these things we can just see in the sent mail. Okay, and after that the next thing is Chandler. So Chandler Bing at gmail.com. Okay, fine. So this is how I have created the dictionary, which is a key and value pair. Okay, so once after we create the dictionary, let's go to the next step. Now what I'm going to do here is I have to actually um is it one more space? Okay, so I have to actually iterate through each of the sheet, right? So for, if you just select this, it will give you for each element inside this list. So what is the list here? Dictionary sheets. So I have given this, and for each element, so what is the element? It is the key, right? So this is for our convenience. For each key, so there is no need to log, but just for understanding purpose, I'm just giving here. For each key in this dictionary, so what we are going to do, that is the main thing. For each value in that dictionary, I am going to send the mail of that particular attachment. But before to that, what we have to do, we have to fetch that sheet from the workbook. Right. So in order to do that, first we need to access this workbook. So I have shown you this workbook, right? So this workbook information is there in the test workbook.xlsx. So for that, I'm going to open workbook. Okay, so open workbook. What is the workbook name that you have to provide? What's the file name? Test workbook.xlsx. So this is the workbook that we have to open. And once after we open, I wanted to read each sheet. Okay, read sheet worksheet as table. And so if you just see here, read worksheet as table. And for this, you have to provide the name. So which sheet you wanted to read. Okay, and also you have to provide whether it has a header or not. That's a boolean value. So I wanted to read the worksheet as table. So what is the worksheet? If you see here, this is the sheet name, right? So just copy it and paste it here. Okay, don't get confused. I'll clearly explain you while I debug this program. Okay, so read workbook as table. So I wanted to read this key. Okay, key is nothing but this one. This is the sheet. It contains the sheet name. Okay, I wanted to read this sheet. And yes, it contains headers. Header is true. Okay, fine. Multiple workbook matchings. Let me go over here. Let's take stable. Okay. I think it belongs to this particular library, excel.files. Okay. So once after that is done, so what is the next step? I wanted to read it, right? So once after you read it, let's take that into a variable which is sheet. Okay. It contains each sheet at a time. So this contains sheet. And after you take the sheet, you wanted to send it, right? So for that, we have to say write table to CSV. Okay, I'm writing that particular table to CSV. And so what does it contains? It contains this information, this sheet it has to write. Copy, paste. Okay, didn't copy the exact thing. I'm gonna paste this. Okay, so it gonna write that, and also we have to say the header is there. Header is true. Okay, so let's give a name to this. Okay, so let's give the name as what can we name this as? Um, Maybe I can give this as it's gonna write into some file, right? So let's say output file. Okay, fine. So what we have done here for each key, that means for each sheet, I'm iterating through each sheet. I'm opening the Excel and I'm reading the worksheet. And once after I read it, I'm writing that into a CSV file, which is the output. And after that, the main things come here. So let's copy this whole thing. I really don't need that whole template, but let's do some manipulations, okay? Did I miss something here? Yes, I did. Okay, delete. And then I'm just giving the whole text that we need, okay? So inside this for loop, I'm actually using this particular. Okay, let me just give some space. So this is the same thing that we were using earlier. Authorized, send message, recipient. I'll talk about recipient later. Then subject and then attachments. So the main thing changes over here is attachment, and we don't need all this HTML image and all because we are not interested in image now. That we have seen in the previous video. So let's delete the down portion. Okay. So our program is only this much, only this much. Okay, our code, we are almost there. So attachments, right? So for attachments, instead of taking this variable, what I'm going to do here is just delete it. And instead of this, in attachments, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this. Okay. Okay, argument are not allowed in this framework. Okay, so why this is throwing this error? So this is because, so let's see here. Once after I hover on right table to CSV, it is showing parameter path to write to. That means whenever we are taking the table into a CSV, where it needs to be sent to is given over here. So instead of this, what can I do is I can just take this output and just paste it over here. Okay, just paste it over here. Okay, and okay, but this will return a CSV file, right? So for that, I'm gonna give CSV. Okay, this is the path. Uh, okay, this variable we haven't declared this variable. So for that, what I'm going to do instead of output, I'm gonna take a key. So whatever the key is there, I'm gonna use the same key. So let's say Harika sheet is there, it's gonna be harika.csv. Okay, so like that, I will use this. Okay, and I'm gonna replace this with this thing. Cool, clear. Why this is showing an error? Okay, should not have any space. Okay, because it's a path. Okay, so this is clear, right? I will iterate this thing before I actually go to recipient, because it will be little confusion if you can't understand this variables and terminology clearly. So what I have done over here is I've created a dictionary. It contains key and value pairs. The key is the name of the sheet and the value is the name of the, it contains the mail ID. Okay. So this particular sheet has to be sent to this particular person's ID. Okay. So that's the main agenda. So what we are doing over here is we are iterating through the dictionary. That means we are picking each sheet at a time. Okay. We are picking each sheet at a time and we are opening the workbook. We are reading the worksheet and writing that into a CSV and loading that over here, and we all know this part. So we are sending attachment of this particular sheet to that person. So how we can send to that person, it is dependent on the recipient. So if you see here, the recipient is here, correct? So how we can access that, let me show you how we can access that. So if you wanted to access that particular recipient, there is a way to access the value from the dictionary. So here I should place the dictionary variable. Okay, just copy this. Okay, from this particular dictionary variable, what I wanted to access, I wanted to access the value of the key. Okay, what is the value of the key? This one. That's it. So from this dictionary, I wanted to access the value of the key. So what is the value of the key? It is this one, correct? So just simple. I'm going to show you this as well. Okay, here we're logging the key, right? So let me log this value here. Okay, so that it will be clear for you. I'll show you in the log message. Okay, I'm saving, then run. Okay, the robot has started running. Let me close this workbook. So I will show you in the log message also. Here it should be give the key and here this will give the value. Hmm. Okay, the process is sending the email. Okay, it got failed. Subject message generated with invalid log level. Okay. I think this one. Okay, it is sending the mail. Let's see if it's gonna pass this time. Okay, it has passed. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pause this recording for a while. I will log into my mail account and I'll show you. So we can see here, my mail. I have got the mail with harika.csv, one attachment, and here it shows the information. Okay, and then the other two I can just check it in the send messages. Let me just show you that as well. So you can see here Monica.Geller. Here it says the attachment Monica Geller attachment, and the other one is Chandler Bing. Here Chandler Bing, right? Perfect. This is perfect, and we got exactly what we want. We have set it. Okay. So I have given a log with doesn't which doesn't have a proper indentation, and also it was inside send message, which is not a property of which is not an attribute of the send message function. So that's why it has thrown an error. But let's say if I gives that here, it's gonna give you the values in the log. But before to that, I'll show you the log file. um I will show you the log of, you can see here it is the log says Harika, and this log should say Monica, and this one says Chandler. Perfect, right? So this is how it actually works. You can just use this particular code and this will work for sending out the Excel sheets to that particular person. Okay, so I think you find this video useful. If so, please do let me know. And also you can just send out, what you can do is you can just take one activity, do some small changes here, and you can use my mail ID and you can just send out your mails, automated mails to my mail ID, so that I can with a message saying that you can just, let me just give you one small idea. Okay, notepad, just with the message, I could automate my mails, and just give your name. Let's say your name is Rajesh. Okay, just give your name. Okay, and you say I could automate my mails. This should be the subject of it, and then give your name. Okay, so like that you just send that particular sheet to me, so that you are successful at doing this particular scenario. So if you find this video useful, please give a thumbs up and also share across your friends, and for more such informative videos, do subscribe to my channel. I'll see you with very much interesting content in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.